Good afternoon, good evening, and good day. Good morning to those of you on the West Coast that are also participating in this mess with the clocks. Uh, but that's not why I was late. I stepped on a rake, not literally, but figuratively. Uh, Allow me a moment to finish getting everything set up, and I'll explain, and we'll be right with you. This is a chat. Hit done. It's not AI. It's not. Save that. Come over here to customization. Put that on. All right, so I didn't get my projector, and it looks like we're frozen. So let's do two of those things at once. All right, select projector from the output, and then we'll find where the camera display is going off to. I guess we'll turn it on. There we go. That helps. And that also refreshed the camera all at once. Love it. All right, so we've got a display. We can see you all. We've got the date. I think we have the right date on the show, which is also awesome. Let's see. We need to check here, and then that means it's good on YouTube. I'm going to go to X and make sure it's there. I didn't get any errors back from YouTube or Twitch, so we'll assume they're good. Okay, that's turned on. Perfect. And let's just go to X. I didn't sample to see if you guys could hear. Let's do that as well. Let's go to. Oh boy, it was working, and now it's on a whole other page. I'm going to click on content. Then we're going to click on live. Then we're going to click on this session. And we're going to unmute. I've been talking, so it should work. Is this excellent condition? Oh, there we go. Uh, Now we wait for feed. There it is. And okay. I don't know if you guys are hearing an echo or if that's just me. If anybody is hearing an echo, let me know and I'll switch these sources around. I think I've got them right this time. Check, check, 1, 2. Check, check, 1, 2. I think that's the right one. It's got a minimal echo. Oh yeah, that echo's coming from the screen. Perfect. Um, Now I need to get this link out to the M friends. And then we'll be all set. I have all of the articles with the previews of what they are, so I know what's coming up, but I didn't share them with anybody, and I didn't put them in a nice little order. So we're going to do that on the fly, as usual. I'm going to go to make sure it's coming from the right account. We're going to BCC the end friends. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. There we go. And perfect. Then I'm going to say third member. Paste that link in there. Send it. And then we'll pull back up you guys. I'll explain why I'm late. For those of you that do your clock diddling on another time of the year, that contributed to this. Uh, the other part is the part where I stepped on a rake. I run my own DNS servers, but I don't just have like a nice little DNS caching server. I also run a pair of DNS resolvers. So they'll go out to the root servers and then work their way back to find out where, you know, CaseyGreen.com is. So they'll start with root, then they'll find out who's authoritative for .com, and then they'll go from .com to Casey Green or MrSupercharger.com as it will, and those will lead to the same server. But I had noticed the main one was not doing the resolution part. It was asking the backup resolver, hey, find this for me. Hey, find that for me. This is weird. Turns out they couldn't talk to each other. The main one could talk to the backup, so the backup had two, but the main only had one. And so that explained why, whenever it was patching time, if a certain part of the patches, the whole network would fall apart. Because without DNS, it's always DNS's fault, isn't it? But it's a little joke for us IT nerds, but the network guys don't like that. But the ended up spinning my wheels on that one because they're all virtual, and at one point I ended up cutting off the whole network, and so we got back in from a trip in the plaid, the loaner plaid, and then I just didn't go to bed. So I've been up for a while. Um, but got it working almost on time. Look, we're not that late. But well, except for those of you that don't do the block diddling yet or at all, or already have, then I've just jumped on you by an hour for whatever reason. Because it saves light. And the cows love it. The cows don't care. The cows see the sun come up, let's go. Milk us. The chicken, the rooster's going to crow as soon as he sees the sun because that's what he does. Uh, and the plants, they don't care. But you're not saving light, you're just moving it. You guys know I don't care for the daylight saving. I know some of you like it. I know some of you like it. For preference. You're like, yeah, I like to do XYZ when the sun is up. Okay, I get that. What I would like to see is less time zones and less politics in our time zones. Like, why do you get to have a quarter or half time zone and the people go off by just a couple seconds and minutes? Like, you like making work hard for people. That's what that is. Okay, so let me pull up the stories. And I'm absolutely in love with the plaid. Um, I thought my P100D was fast, and I already told you I knew that this thing was fast, but yeah, it makes mine look like it's standing still. I never got, well, I don't want to say never. I did one full throttle just because I could, but everything else, I was like just like a little big toe down on the pedal, and it was just teleporting all over the place. Like, hey, you're going here, boom, we're there. You can't merge in, and I may I may try to do the Cyber Beast when it's time trying to do the Cybertruck, just because that speed was awesome. And like I said, the dual motor that I drove of the Cybertruck was comparable to our Model X. It is a little bit slower, uh, about half as fast according to the papers. But the Cyber Beast and my P100D and the Plaid are all measured on with a foot of rollout. And the dual motor, the rear wheel drive, the all wheel drive, the non performance Teslas are measured just 0 to 60 regular. So they're actually closer than the numbers would have you suspect. But what are you gonna do? The other thing I liked about it was it's got, I don't know if they actually have it active or not, but it's got the ability to torque vector. So if you kind of push it into the twisties and you get on it, the two rear motors, the independent motors, are in the rear, so it can adjust and deal with that. It's pretty fun. Um, on this Plaid, I believe they're all permanent magnet motors, but on the Cyber Beast, they're two induction. Sorry, no, one induction and two permanent magnet. And on the Semi, I believe, is also all permanent magnet, but they've got the clutch, so they don't need the advantages you get from an induction for that. All right, so let's see. We need to. Oh, we never did check out X. We loaded X. I see it sitting there on the screen, and hey, there I am. Let's try and play it. And make sure it's not all a stuttery mess like it was that first couple times when we went 4K on YouTube. I hear it. It looks smooth. Perfect. All right, let's test out the chat. Testing chat. And let me switch on over to multi-stream in case you guys have already been talking to me. Right, there we go. All right, the articles are loaded. Let me move them over to this screen and open up a web browser so you guys can see them. And then we're going to get to cooking. Obviously, with all this traveling this weekend and the time shift, this is a little light compared to normal, but that's okay. All right, so what I think I'll do is I'll just pop out this X window so I don't have to load a new tab and get distracted by uh, relevant articles. I'm going to move this tab to a new window. And then, oof, Mac is still trying to help me out with the screens. Uh, I saw that new Mac is really cool looking. Particularly for me, this big screen of mine isn't driven at full power by this Mac. It dumbs it down because it can't handle it. So that part, I mean, that part's been handled since like the M2 Mac, but this one has some stuff I wanted to see. All right, so there's our X. Let's shrink it a little bit so it fits on your screen. Let's see how close I get this week. And then if you've messaged me or replied to me, I see it. I just the way I use X Twitter Zitter is when people are complaining about the feed, I don't actually use the feed that much. I use my notifications, and so I've got two levels of notifications. I've got the ones that stream in on the phone and the browser and wherever else, and I kind of click through those throughout the day. And then I've got the ones that are messaging about replies. Or DMs are obvious; they're easy and separate to handle. But if you click on any of them, then on the iOS and Android, all of your notifications go away. So I have to kind of sit down and be ready to deal with it. So I can't just, I mean, you can, but because I don't use the home feed, I need to make sure I don't miss um, an interaction that I was trying to hold up with you guys. And yeah, there's some trolls in there, but thankfully, so far, I haven't had to deal with that. Not much anyway, I should say. You guys have seen me make a mess on X. Um, I don't need that. Do need that. I need to see you guys. And then we're going to switch on over to presentation view. Okay, and that is working. Perfect. One more place to go. But the other side of the end, friends. I've got some in email and some in this messaging app. I'm going to start bringing some of you guys on too. Okay. Oh, one thing we saw this weekend that was really cool to me on the East Coast, Philadelphia, South Carolina, kind of on the edge of South Carolina and North Carolina, there's a 40 stall supercharger site, all V3s, and not the V3 pluses, they're just the classic V3s. And I was like, that is amazing because this car decided to route us there instead of to the Buc-ee's. And it's like, yeah, there's 38 stalls open. I said, what? It's 38 stalls? Is this a miscount? What's this gonna look like? Are we gonna have a lounge and some solar? Because we do have solar on the 16 or 12 stall in Orangeburg. I didn't even break out the camera. I should have, but Motica was trying to get out of the car, and we only needed 6 minutes of charging. So good luck getting the kid back in the car after being unbuckled after just 6 minutes. But it was it was weird. It was weird. It's like a bunch of like fast food restaurants, and this is in Dillon, South Carolina, and so it's kind of like or at least that part of town is dying, if not the whole town. And so you've got all these fast food restaurants in a row, and then there's like a gap, like maybe one fell in a storm, or somebody didn't do their maintenance, or whatever, and then it looks like Tesla came in and. It also could just be a combined parking lot, but it does not look like a combined parking lot. It looks like there was a restaurant there, and now there's not. I, I didn't go back and like Google Images it or Bing it or whatever. Let's do that first thing when we get started. Um, but it looks like they knocked the restaurant down and then filled it with superchargers. There's 3 or 4 nose-in spots that you can use with a trailer, and then the rest are all the normal back end, not the goofball quarter back end like you get at the Raleigh Mall. I hate those ones. The only ones I hate worse than those ones are the angle back ends. Just because you got all these poles going on, and I don't mind angle back ends. I don't like them, but I don't mind them as much. I back in everywhere, and it's so much easier with these cars. Speaking of that, I was wondering how you use the new parking interface with the Tesla Vision View, and then you can get all the different parking spaces. Since they don't seem to put anything on the touchscreen on the Palladium cars, so the long range, the standard, and the Plaid S and X. And I guess whenever the Plaid Plus comes out, if it comes back, but they don't do any of that stuff on the touchscreen. So it's like, how do you park? Turns out, it shows you all that still on the screen right in front of the wheel, and you use the scroll wheel because that's not a touch screen in front of you. It's over to the side, and they don't use it. So you use the scroll wheel, pick the spot you want, hit autopilot, and it'll park. Pretty darn cool. Do have to pick the spot, make sure it lights up in blue, because if you don't, it's gonna sit there and twitch. Or if it's sure of where it can go on autopilot, it'll just leave the area, and you just got there. You're trying to park. The other part of it, though, is that um, I couldn't find a way to do the set speed offset, or even just the set speed. Like if you go into construction or any number of reasons why you've changed the cruise control speed, or sometimes the car just forgets to adjust it. Like as you go up or down, it's like, yeah, we're gonna keep doing this, and then you could on the highway stack because this is a hardware 3. It's not AI 4 running all that new stuff. You would on my legacy car, you would just hold the cruise stalk towards you for a moment until it updates to the new speed. On the 3Y and Cybertruck, you just tap on the speed limit sign icon, and it will adjust. Either if you have it set to match with 0 offset, it'll just adjust up or down to the speed limit. And if you have it set to an offset, like say 5 miles an hour over, I know the Europeans don't like all this speed and talk, but that's okay. Um, you hit it, and then the car will adjust back to that. So it's really important when you're coming down. Say you're coming from an 80 mile an hour zone, and or where you're doing 80 miles an hour, I should say, unless you're in Texas, where the speed limit, the actual posted speed limit, 85 miles an hour on enough roads. Uh, you hit that, and then the car will drop it back down to whatever it last saw. And that's most important when you've done an override because the overrides don't tend to affect the lowering of the speed limit as much. Uh, it does sometimes handle the raises of the speed limit, rises of the speed limit correctly, even if you've manually set something in. And then, of course, if you change roads or change types of roads, like if it goes into city streets mode for some reason, like it literally goes through a city or it just gets confused and then goes back out into the highway mode, sometimes it'll adjust. And then if you change interstates, uh, it will often, depending on how they're put in there, it will often pick a new set speed at that point as well. But so every car with the new S and X, you can have a quick way to get that speed limit back where it should be. Uh, I think we've got a tweet about it from the head of FSD about some new paradigms. So it's it's not going to matter for long, except for those of you with a new S and X, but hardware 3, because that one is in there, but it's going to take a little while for hardware 3 to see many more improvements, and it's looking more and more likely like we might get that upgrade. That's not to say that I didn't miss something over the weekend because with all that driving, I don't have a chance to keep up on the tweets. And this Palladium, man, it charges this plaid charges super fast. It was holding 250 for a good minute uh, on the V3. Let me see if I can't before we pull up the browser. Let me see if I can't one, get that graph, and two, see if I can get it without um, sharing private information. Let's see. Let's go to. It's not what I clicked on. Let's go to one of these apps. Then we're going to sign in. I'm picking one that has a real-time API for the car. And when I checked on Saturday or Friday, mine didn't even have any parts listed or say that they were inbound or anything. So, battery, I guess. Battery is 80%. Phantom drain is nil. I forgot to turn off Sentry mode again, though. I got the voltage. A little bit higher voltage than mine. But again, mine just died, so who knows what the voltage should have been. Um, I mean, I know lots of people know what it should have been, but like to the millivolts, I wasn't paying attention. So this one has used 24 megawatt hours to my lots of megawatt hours. I can't see that because it's in the shop. I want charges, please. Uh, oh, okay, yeah, there's battery health. That's not what I'm looking for. All right, so charges for the last 7 days. Let's only show superchargers, please. And that should be fair enough to share. Yeah. Let me make sure what it shows when I click in them. So got the supercharger as destination. Oh, uh, I know how much supercharging costs now. I mean, not that I couldn't do the math before, but like I could see it. It's cheaper than I thought, but also more expensive than I would like. All right, so we got voltages, interior, outside, where they are. As long as we don't have where wind came from, then I'll be fine. Okay, good. I think this will work. All right, we're gonna use Tessie today. I've got a couple of these I could use. Let's do the screen share. Find it. Window capture. Settings. Still talking about a Zuzu truck we talked about months ago. I don't see it anywhere on my screen. Hey Eddie, what's up? Kind of missed those EV Fridays. Any news on the upcoming Model 2? So we suspect that the Model Next might show up next year. Uh, I don't think it's going to be what we expected it to be. It sounds like it's going to be a derivative of something that's already out there. So we're going to see probably something in Model 3 or Model Y based. And it may even be them, but cheaper to make. But that's not what they were describing. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. And I think we have an episode on it on the Tesla Life show where we kind of got into it and had to get walked back a little bit, but that was all right. So I'm looking for the browser window. This one's calling itself charges. Charges, please. I think I got it. Yep, there we go. Browser name, then charges. Look at that. That is like spot on. All right, so hit done and then just drag this in a little from the right and we should be all set. There we go. Oh, oh. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so um, let's look at all my charges for this Model X Plaid real quick. Like I said, it was fast. All right, so this is the one of Dylan I was talking about that who knows what it used to be. I wonder if I can't um, satellite view and zoom out, I guess. All right, so there's a restaurant here, chicken, and a restaurant there. Uh, oh, yeah, that's chicken. Oh, they're both chicken. There's Zaxby's and Popeyes. So this, I'm gonna have to pull this up and look at the overtime view because it was an empty lot last time it was photographed. But that doesn't mean, like, look how perfect it is. It wasn't necessarily always an empty lot, because then you might expect it to have been kind of green like this other one here. So let's scroll down a little bit. So this would have cost, or this cost Elon $21 and a penny. We added 47.76 kilowatts in 18 minutes. Uh, the reason this is amazing to me is one, mine wasn't so hot at this. Then it got worse, and then it got better, and then it stopped. Uh, so I'm curious if the new one charges any better. But I also know that the Ravens, which are mostly the same car as mine, but with the better suspension, they and also not just better suspension, but they also have the permanent magnet front motor, so they get more efficiency than mine by a lot. Um, and they have better tires, bearings, wheels. It's just a lot of little stuff that adds a little more miles to it with the same basic system. Uh, but they were also built kind of before the V3 supercharger was really a thing. So they can charge at like 200, 220 for like a moment. Mine can get up to like 180. Well, used to be able to get up to 180 for a brief moment, and I will let you know what it gets up to now when the new battery lands. They put it in, and I get a chance to drive it. But so this one can hold 250 for like a good while. I don't know if it did it here, but it did do it at least twice on our trip. So let's see. So we added 154.6 miles in 18 minutes. Mine would have took about 30 to do that. And at the end, I was basically waiting on the baby to get her seatbelt on. Why unplug? Why unplug? And then once it was clicked, I unplugged it and hopped in the car. We left. So the charge rate in miles, I don't really care in miles, do I? Not really. Um, can I get that in kilowatts? Is it miles? And the other place I know that would do what I want would share too much information. And they charge you per car, so they don't have this car in there because I don't own this car. Um, let's see. Oh, there we go. We got it in amps. There we go. We got it in kilowatts. Okay, so it's got what I want. It's all breaking down into different charts. So charge rate, peak charge rate of 803 miles an hour, with a slight taper down to 797 miles per hour, and then it petered out there. Uh, Peak power was 249 kilowatts. It tapped there at 15%. So just like my car, this one does not charge the fastest from zero. Uh, it does it a lot closer to zero than mine. Mine won't, well, the one that's going won't charge its fastest until it hits 20%, and then it would go from there. So peak was at 15% at 248 kilowatts, down to 242, and then a slow decline and unplug. I don't talk amps, because amps now voltage means nothing. Well, not nothing, but not a lot. Although that peak is interesting, 598 amps peak on a 400 amp system. The voltage, pretty stable. This is what lithium does. But down from, I'm wondering if some of that's the ramp. I don't think I got it low enough that it was at 200 volts. The interior temperature was pretty solid because we were in it. Outside temperature was a nice day. Let's go to, that was the Dylan 40 stall supercharger. This one we got from 12 to 44. That was 13 to 68. So this was at Raleigh. This is the one I was talking about at Raleigh. You got to kind of like back in, but the posts are um, parallel to the stalls rather than perpendicular like they're a wall. Uh, it makes it harder to clean them up in a snowplow situation, and these spaces are so narrow because this is a pretty popular mall that they get pretty tight. The doors didn't want to open, and so as we were trying to leave, the car's like, "Shut the doors." I'm like, "The doors are shut." What I didn't know was that when I went to unplug the car, she hit the open on the on her Falcon door, and it was so tight that it didn't go anywhere, and it just kind of paused. And so I'm trying to drive, and it's like shifted. I was like, close the doors. The doors aren't closed. Open my door, close it again, close the doors. What? As I swipe the little car icon up, I found out um, that's actually pretty cool. We know that they do different shapes for all their cars, like the little menu icon for the car is your car with your actual front fascia. So if you have the guppy mouth, it's got that. If you've got the first refresh, it's got that. But the top down view, it was a Model X. It had like the cuts for the wings. And I knew that the Cybertruck one was it because it looked like the little cyber whistle, but I don't know why I thought it would be a generic car on that slider. But it's not. So anyway, I slide the slider up, and the car's like, close the Falcon door. So, okay, yeah, close the Falcon door. And let's go again. And that's how tight they are. That the Falcon door didn't want to open all the way, which I guess, rally real estate's premium. All right, so we started at 12%, and this was just a little top off because we were meeting people. We added 27.09 kilowatt hours in how many minutes? Up. A very short amount of minutes. It was $11, and we added 27.09. We used 28 for 97% efficiency. Not bad. So we added a 90-mile range basically in a quick setting. Peak charge rate of 650 miles an hour. Oh, sorry, average. Peak of 804. Peak of 250, which kind of taps that right there in the middle, and then went back down. It did navigate to it, but it wasn't. It wasn't on plan. It gave us a plan, and I was like, yeah, let's make sure there's some energy to get out from that place. Um, and it made a difference because then we were able to hit the Williston supercharger, the Buckies, instead of it was trying to send us to not Florence original, um, Lumberton. It was trying to send us to Lumberton at 150 kilowatts in a car that can do 250. Nah, bro, we're gonna go somewhere else, and we did. I got stuck in this hellacious traffic jam. It was like 1 mile long, in the middle of all that I-95 construction. What happened was I saved the video. I need to go grab the FSD or the FSD. I need to go grab the USB and see what all happened because that's the beauty of this. If you want to looky-loo, you can do it later. You don't have to slow everybody down. So it was a pretty severe crash, like in between all that construction, and there's Jersey barriers, and there's no shoulder, and it just took a long time to get the police into it and get the. Uh, I don't know if I missed the EMTs and the tow trucks, or I, I don't think I missed. Well, they could have also come up the other direction, but I don't think I missed them. But I did see the cops come through, and then after that second cop came through, the finally started to move. We were at a standstill long enough that the car was about to put itself into park and get ready to turn off. And then as it's like making all the noises, traffic moves and like creeps forward an inch, and kind of inched along for another hour, and then it was clear. I hope they're all right. And like I said, I'm going to be nosy and look at the cameras to see what the car could see. And yeah, so I had enough charge to get through that and still not have to charge in Lumberton. We were able to make it to the Buckies, and it's a much better experience at that hour of the day. They got clean restrooms, a lot to choose from, and it was a blast. All right, so we've got let's look at that Bucky's charge. The Bucky's charge, you'll see, is a lot longer because what happened was I went to sleep. I needed a nap, so I just put the charge to 90 and set my alarm clock. I was like, kick back. Um, so Benson, we weren't originally going to go to Benson, but I was doing some plaid launches. and no longer had the energy to get to where we were going. It wanted us to get. Oh Oh no, that's what it was. It did want us to go to Lumberton. It wanted us to go to Fayetteville, the one that I always say feels like a funeral home. It's a nice hotel, and the staff is wonderful, and it's usually pretty clean, and they've got a large a lot. But yes, Bucky's. Bucky's is up next, and there's Timothy there. There's nothing against these people. It's just their design choice and the way the place smells and looks. It just feels like a funeral home to me, and that's the one in not Florence but Fayetteville, which is where it wanted us to charge first before I ran down too many percentage points on the plaid launches, and then the idol. So then it tried to get us to go to a different one. So we did a little splash and dash at Benson, and then we went on to the Buckies. So let's look at the splash and dash real quick. 21% up to 61% in just 13 minutes. It cost Elon $15.14, and it had only been 54 miles since the last charge because we were just in Raleigh. And let's look at the high scores on this one. We got a charge rate of 775 miles or 252 kilowatts. So it's actually 2 kilowatts higher than they advertise for the Gen V3 superchargers. 605 amps out of 400. Whew. And then again, interior was stable because we were in it. All right, so next we're gonna go to Bucky's. Let's go to Bucky's. All right, so at Bucky's, like I said, I took a little nap, and we were there for a minute. Wow, it was an empty field last time they took a picture of it. So we came in at 12% after the traffic jam for the collision. And, I didn't quite make it to 90% because Moto woke up. I was going in for another 15 minutes of sleep. I was gonna slide up to 95% and just take another nap, but it didn't happen. So we ended up with was it 2,300, and we left at midnight 30. Let's see. So it cost Elon $30 for that one, 28.85. Cooking up the odometer on that one. And let's see. We added 65.56 kilowatts and 98% efficiency. 211 miles of range. The charge rate was interesting on this one. Look at that. It's got a little hitch in it. Um, but it might be like mine is, where it just doesn't charge that fast until it gets to 20. But this one I did precondition it, it's all way over there. Let's see. It's in miles, so I need kilowatts, please. Oh, no, it's not that at all. So something happened here to use up some of the charge that's coming in, and I'll tell you what it was. It was the HVAC, because it was really quiet, and then at some point it just like sounded like there was a monster on the dashboard, and then it calmed back down again. So this one, the average power was 109 kilowatts because again I just left it plugged in. The peak was only 150. Really? Huh. I was on V. All the superchargers at Bucky's are V3, so that's weird. There's only 159. Uh, Timothy smiles. Robert gives his thumbs up. Timothy says a power nap in in more ways than one. Exactly. I was starting to get the long blinks, and uh, FSD has not yet reached the SD part of the FSD. It's supervised right now, so can't have it running amok in the southeast here, in the dark in the woods, and it was safer, so we just did that. But I'm surprised it only did 140. Would have thought it would have done. You know what else it could be though? There were No, that's not it, because we reach on our own cabinets. So even if one wasn't up to snuff, they could have done the DC bus sharing. Only two things I can think of is if they weren't throttling it back for some reason, is that Maybe I didn't plug it in all the way, but I've gotten better at that. It plugs in different than mine. It's like at a downward angle, and it's a little tighter, and it'll very quickly throw up that orange light. Oh, that's the other part of it. Mine has got the color ring around it. This one's got the little color T in the corner. So it's just a matter of getting used to it. But I don't think I would have missed plugging in by that much because it would let you know if it was that bad. It'd be like, yeah, try again, buddy. It's 109 average with 149 kilowatts. Uh, Amps were low too. 253 average with 377. The voltage makes sense. So weird. But I like Bucky's because, like I said, it's clean. Stuff to do there. Okay, let's get on to why we're actually here today. Where did I put the notes? Oh, Apple was being ever so helpful, and they put the notes away for me. You're not using these. Actually, I had planned to. All right, so Louisville has launched themselves. I had the beach ball for a second. Louisville has launched themselves a 100% garbage truck fleet. There are other electric garbage trucks in the States, Casey. What are you talking about? Yes, there are. But these guys are claiming to be the first whole fleet. I guess I could have just captured the link to the article at that point. But I didn't know my X would be slow today. So while we wait on X to be slow. Oh, you know what though? Like I said, I just rebuilt all of those DNS servers. You might be trying to find X and however many individual server calls it's got. It does have caching, but if it's never seen it before, it's got to go to the root and find it and come back. So that might be what we're seeing. Um, yeah. So while we wait on that, let's load up another one. Probably also on X. No, this one's straight at electric. And we got two of them. All right, so this one at X. And this one's straight at electric. Um, Here. I haven't been anywhere. Like literally, I once I got DNS working again, showed up here. We're spinning. We're doing lots of spinning. So some of this could be my browser. Let me check on my memory pressure real quick. I did do an update and restart it before we left on the trip, so there should be no excuse because first thing I did was break it, so it can't be busy with anything. Oh, so the CPU's going wild, but that shouldn't have anything to do with this. It's green on the memory pressure. That's usually what messes us up. And we're at 24% system usage. Oh, system is using 24. I'm using 61 with 10 to 12% idle, which is still plenty. Uh, I don't know if Mac is like Linux where you get extra percent per core. Like folks will say, how can I use 400% CPU? Because you use 100% of 4 cores. Let's see. So the US EV battery supply chain just got a vital link with its first advanced electrolyte factory. And that one I was just kind of like, hey, look, there's some cool stuff. Everybody says you can't do it at home. The Chinese are going to eat our lunch. They are eating our lunch, but it doesn't have to be that way. It doesn't have to be that way. We can do it at home if there's willpower and money. So let's see. Anthro Energy just received $24.9 million grant from the U.S. Department of Energy to bolster the domestic battery supply chain, a move that will have a big impact on U.S. EV production. There we go. And they got this from the bipartisan infrastructure law, aka the IRA, Inflation Reduction Act. And X is back. Okay, so I don't know why X. Oh, you know what though? I could be on like different load balancing servers or something because it loaded enough for me to check that this was working. So we talked about Louisville. Let's go ahead over to electric. And since it's not loading, there won't be any comments for us to see. And Redwood Materials has launched that they are capable of recycling not just consumer batteries and whole car batteries, not the LEDs, although they could probably do that, But we're talking like the electric car and hybrid advanced battery tech. Uh, but they can also do cars that have been in a collision. So you don't have to have just this perfect pristine battery for them to get a hold of. And that makes sense because them and or they and their main competitor, they both have a process to make the battery inert whole before they start chipping on it or dunking it in acid, depending on which company we're talking about. Uh, so they have this giant freeze dryer. They stick it in there, and now not only is it below the ignition point, but if you chop it up fast enough, uh, depending on if you put it in a solution or if you separate it a certain way, by the time that's finished, if it's still cold, it's not anything to catch fire. It's pretty darn cool. Um, let's see. Yeah, that's all I want to say about that. Let's go back to the electric article about the electric garbage truck fleet. I have a feeling that if they just took the same drivers and they didn't remap any of the brake pedal to regen, that these things will be something that will still wake you up in the morning, but they'll be more pleasant about it without the roar of a diesel engine. But they're still gonna have the brakes, start, stop, and the hydraulics and the equipment. But I'll take any improvement in the noise quality. City's calling the national first, Louisville, Colorado. Okay, I was thinking a different Louisville. Held a ribbon, but it makes sense. It's Colorado we're talking about here. Held a ribbon cutting ceremony last Tuesday to celebrate the launch of an all-electric residential recycling and waste collection fleet. 100 miles of driving. Oh, well, under 100 miles driving. Yeah, yeah. They come out to you from some sort of depot. They pick up your refuse and they go back to the dump. It's an easy trip. What's more, their quiet operation means that residents like young kids and light sleepers are far less likely to be woken up at 0 dark 30 by a rogue operator with a Jake brake fetish. Yes, yes. Them and the old Grumman mail vehicles, the Grumman LLV, the long life vehicle, the mail truck, the classic mail truck. It's like gas, brake, gas, brake, gas, brake. Like, you don't have a feather in there? You know, stomp both pedals each time, man. Come on. Uh, What's more, their quiet operation means that residents like young kids and like, yeah, get that. Any stats on this thing? I was just happy to see an electric garbage truck fleet and what that could mean for sleeping in and not being annoyed when you're in the middle of something important. Not that it was that annoying, but sometimes like you're saying something just right, or somebody's saying something that sorry, I thought I heard a new Tesla backing up, and that was weird because it's plugged in. Uh, but something's coming across just right, and you miss it because of all the calamity. The clatter. BNP customers get real incentives. 360-degree cameras, that's nice. Enlarged windshield, yes. Lane departure sensors, excellent. Almost got creamed by a FedEx truck, and then several other. The FedEx truck was no excuse for what he was doing. Uh, One driver was drifting, like he was on the phone, but he was drifting until we went to pass him in a semi truck, and another one. Like they were all to the point where I didn't want to brake to get away from them. I wanted to accelerate out, and it worked every time. Yeah, so one FedEx truck and one semi truck almost pinned us to the wall right before those crashes, and another one he was just like all over the road. And I didn't want to be involved in that, and there was no wind or anything for there to be so many people drifting. Uh, so you can get it in 499 and 665 kilowatt hour battery capacities, and they're eligible for more incentive money from HVIP and the state of Colorado. Yes, yes, about time. Tesla hire celebrity ambassador. That was interesting. She was an Olympic shooter. Is Kia smashes sales record again. Waymo's got $45 billion valuation. Oh, Walmart's got their bright drops in. Tired of waiting on their review van, I suppose. And there's semis, Tesla semis. It won't stop the hideous screeching from the crusher. No, it won't. But at least it'll stop the drone of the engine, and that's one less smell for the operators. Absolutely. Absolutely. Tesla released a fleet of garbage trucks last year. Ha ha ha. Okay, next we've got PSA about, of all things, Actually Smart Summit. ASS. So the car that my Model X tried to run over a couple years ago uh, looked like that one, except that hers had a little more sparkle to it. Her wrap had like a little bit of rainbow sparkle to just this kind of a satin color. Anyway, so what his did to the pole, mine tried to do to the insurance agent's car, the Model Y. Big old Model Y, you can't miss it. It's about 90% of your size there, Model X. Um, yeah. So this person was not quick enough on the draw. They summoned the car to them, and it got twitchy and decided it was going to turn and scrape the heck out of this pole. Now, um, we can do some forensic looking at it and see if this could have been faked. Because some of these in the past have been faked, like they actually reversed in on their own and tried to blame it on the car. Let's see. I feel bad for this person since tight parking spots are actually a reasonable use case for Tesla's summon feature. I actually use the what I call classic summon right there, or what Tesla and Musk are calling dumb summon, because it will go straight forward back up to 40 feet. I call it classic because it came out on Model S with AP1. Let's see. Make that bigger. I'm heartbroken. I don't get why it didn't pull straight out first before turning. It happened so fast. I didn't really have much time to stop it. Anybody here have any luck with Tesla taking responsibility for something like this? Yes, maybe that last part. Uh, as Fred said, uh, that last sentence has got me. Are you new to Tesla? And it got worse. Let's look at this other picture. Oh, I think that other picture is from Reddit. Yep. All right, so let's look at this other picture here this way. Tesla doesn't take any responsibility. At this point, someone is basically a way for Tesla to make money off of repair, and I'm barely kidding. Yeah, it looks real to me. Not one of those people messed it up a little bit. I mean, yes, but like the people who try to blame it on the car when they did it. So it looks like they took out the mirror as well. There should be more substance there. And at first I was thinking that maybe it was a gray car that got like the satin wrap over top just to kind of diffuse it, but that could be like a white car that got wrapped. I don't know. Doesn't much matter. Don't use it then. That's simple. I've had it since they released it. Never used it until Tesla takes liability. I will never use it. That's one way to look at it. The thing why it's a PSA here is you got to pay attention to the surroundings before you move the car. So one of the cool things about actually Smart Summon versus the last one is it shows you a preview of all the cameras before you make the car move, and it's only watching the main four on your app because that's a lot of bandwidth. But you can do your Sentry view, just kind of look around, make sure there's nothing weird, like a skinny pole. Excuse me. Uh, Make money off SSD. If this was asked, it should have been covered without deductive. Um, that's another good point. It could be classic, um, dumb summon. What do you call it? Just smart summon without actually smart in front of it. So and that would explain that. It's unlikely that it's that on this new of a car. Who knows? We'll never know the whole story. First, the Cybertruck is bulletproof, and now some models are hole-proof. It's a scratch. That's more than just a scratch. You're gonna need a new piece here under the mirror, and thankfully you got a wrap, so it's not gonna be as bad as it could be. All right, so continuing on. PSA over. Pay attention to what you're doing, what your car is doing. Oh, apparently I replied to it. I captured it. I said in response to Elon's, or not the question, the one that got Fred about is Tesla going to take responsibility for this? I said that's a nope, because they give you like so many warnings. All right, so we got news that Toyota and Japan's NTT will invest $3.2 billion in research and development to create artificial intelligence software to improve self-driving. They are planning to develop automotive software which will use AI to anticipate crashes and to take control of vehicles. Um, yeah, everybody needs to do it, but that's a lot of money. It's kind of getting into it at this point. You've got Mobileye, you've got Tesla, you've got Ford, you've got uh, Waymo. Why not just buy something from somebody else? Unless you think you've got some secret sauce. There's nothing wrong with secret sauce, but a company that's only got one plug-in hybrid or one plug-in electric, and it's not all that compelling. You got some other stuff to spend some money on there, Toyota. Let's see. Plus, full self-driving, you need electric anyway. You don't want to do that with gas. It can be made to work, but it's uh, my notes program is mad that I took all these screenshots of everything when I put them in there. All right, so then we've got a Ford Lightning post. Ford, no, it's not Lightning post. It's the other picture of Lightning. Ford's going to come out with their new mid-size electric pickup truck, and it'll match the cost of the BYD. We were just talking about how inexpensive BYD is able to make their stuff before putting it into the States. So this will be very interesting to watch. Robert says, yeah, the EV ones here are much quieter than the gas ones. I am looking forward to it, Robert. Thank you. And he also says, like the video I just sent you where they said FSD is the car to miss the person. I'll take a look at that. Like I said, I was traveling this weekend. It was a lot of driving. That was all I wanted to say about the Ford. It's very speculative. Yes, it's coming from their CEO, but we've seen other electric CEOs just kind of just talking about stuff, and it changes at the last minute. I'll keep an eye on it. I'm not feeling it at the moment. All right, so we talked about that, and the truck. So let's go on to yes. Speaking of Ford, we've got a qualifying purchase for the Ford Mach E of $7,500 on top of whatever credits you already get. So this is for the Mach E consumer incentive and realizing that 45x credits for battery manufacturing. This is a move clearly driven by the IRA. So what Hassan is saying here is that we get to benefit from their selling of big old honking gas guzzlers. So typically what happens with these credits is you just pay them to one of your competitors or you pay them to the government. Um, your competitors will offer it to you at a discount so that you keep coming back And so you say your fee is $100 million, they'll sell it to you for like $75 million or $50 million or whatever you guys agree to. It's a win-win-win. They get to sell the electric cars and get a little extra R&D return on it. You didn't have to give the whole amount to the government. So that's how it works. But where were we? Oh yes. So with the Mach E here, Ford can just give that to you. Why give it to Chevrolet or Tesla or whoever? And right now it's probably just a matter of everything didn't go the way they calculated it because sales have been not as robust as they have been in years past. That's not across the board, I know. Let's see. And then he goes on to explain the incentives, and then we've got come on, scroll. And then what's this on? Power up building decarbonize. Worked to Tesla in the past. Okay, that's how he got under my radar. Then we've got so Ford and LG to move EV battery pack production to Poland, from Poland to Michigan. Yes, smart. I wasn't even looking at the quote on that one. Tesla pauses deliveries of the 2025 Model Y in the U.S. due to an EPA hold. So this, you can't sell the car without an EPA sticker, a score. And it looks like the 2025 hasn't been done yet. That's why sometimes you'll see the new model year come in right at January, like it has in the past for Tesla. And other times they'll pull the well, not as bad as some of the other ones do. They'll pull it forward like 3 months or so. When the others do it, it's just quite interesting how you can have a new model year on like June 2nd. So yeah, okay, that's the 2026, huh? All right, whatever. Let's see. That's probably why Tesla tags the last few hours of trading. I don't think so. I don't know why my browser is scrolling like this. Like I said, it's memory. And yeah, I am encoding 4K, but on this device, it does it in hardware accelerators, not the CPU. All right, so we got Louisville, and let's find out what I'm guessing Darren doesn't say the top. Yeah, Darren there. What Darren says about why the Model Y it's on hold. Temporary pause. Oh, you know what else though? Tesla might have asked for this because Elon promised us no new Model Y in 2024. It's pretty much ready. You can ask the government to hold it back, depending on where you are in the process, if they have a process for that. Um, so that you're not giving away any of the new stuff. Like if the new car is already ready, that like the 2025 will be the Juniper. That would be a case where the company wouldn't want it wouldn't want it done instead of the government just saying, full plate or yeah, we don't need to do this one. It's not part of the sample. We don't want to buy yet another car from you. For the fuel economy test, you can give them one. I don't think you can do that for the crash test because there's a chance that just kind of know what the cream of the crop for crash test is. That is literally life or death. All right, so the pause deliveries on the Model Y as EPA finishes its range certifications. Neither Tesla nor the EPA has provided an estimated date for further details. I'm sorry. Like I said, I've been up for over 24 hours. I'll fix that after this. Uh, except for that nap. I had the nap, the power nap. Tesla nor the EPA have provided an estimate estimated date or further details on when the delivery hold will be lifted. So it's kind of, we don't know more, but I wonder if they get into where we just went. As part of the process of switching from 24 to 25, Tesla has to get each of their ranges recertified. Yeah. Typically, this happens without an impact to the customer. Yeah, yeah. It's also what kind of took the initial Cybertruck launch so long. Like they got it, and then as soon as they got it, bam, they're on sale. The semi truck actually got theirs before the Cybertruck did. But we knew because they share a VIN decoder. We knew more about the Cybertruck in the beginning because of that. No information about when it'll be lifted. Impact eligibility for the 0% financing deal, which has a requirement for delivery by December 31st of 24. If we had to guess, the hold will be lifted within a week or two. It's a fair assessment. The scroll seems so long with all these pictures in it. It's like, oh my goodness. Here's a look at the Cadillac Lyriq V electric SUV, stunning early 25. So Cadillac Lyriq has a Cadillac V car, so I'm curious what they did to make it faster and more sporty, but not enough to wait on it to load the page. This one was big for MrSupercharger.com, especially. Polestar is now actively supercharging. Let's take a look at that. We knew they had joined up, and what's interesting is they joined up before Volvo, even though they're kind of very well related. They're both owned by Geely. So Polestar EVs are now able to use the supercharger network. No free adapters here. But I don't think they promised free adapters. They just said they're coming. See, they announced their vehicles are officially being onboarded onto the supercharger network, joining the likes of Rivian, Ford, GM, and others. Yeah, Polestar became the latest non-Tesla EV to join the official access. Oh, I saw so many of them yesterday. Not the uh, not the Polestar. I saw a Polestar, uh, an F-150 Lightning, a GMC thing. I guess it wasn't the Hummer. I'd recognize that. Um, a couple Mach-E's at the Chargers. That was fun. Not all at once, like it was a get together, but it's like onesie Tuesdays. I didn't see any Rivians this time though. I saw some on the road, but none at the superchargers. In coming months. In the meantime, every automaker is waiting for their turn. As an added bonus, the charge port is in the correct spot on the rear left quarter panel. Hooray! Volvo is the other NAX EV with the port in the rear left. Again, Volvo, Polestar, Hyundai, Kia, Genesis, they share some stuff. Polestar says owners can order a NAX adapter from their local service point. Future Polestar products will adapt the NAX inlet as standard equipment. Owners of existing Polestar product can order NAX adapter through their local Polestar service point. Interesting name for it, but accurate. All kinds of kids' toys underfoot. Let's see. Go through starting in mid-November, or deliveries are starting in mid-November. In addition to Polestar's in-car Google Maps will be updated to show you the NAX chargers. Good. Anders Gustafsson, head of Polestar, says that by offering our customers the Tesla Supercharger network, we are able to provide our owners with more charging options than ever before, elevating the Polestar ownership experience with more efficient charging, convenience, capabilities. This is with the adoption of this standard in combination with approximately 10,000 CCS DC fast chargers and the Current and prospective Polestar customers now have access to nearly 27,800 DC fast chargers and can feel more confident in their ability to charge on the go. Yes, it's very nice. It's very nice. Superchargers, there's a really nice user experience about them. Just and then you'd go do stuff and you'd come back and you've got hundreds more miles of range than you had. Right, so uh, curious what the comment is on the Cybertruck extender. Don't know what's going on there. All right, that's a whole new article. Where the comments go? No comments on this? Guess not. Oh wait, I passed right by. That's why. As an added bonus. Oh yeah, we talked about that right on the article. It's awesome. They're definitely making it hard as possible to actually use it. No online order for the app. Oh, that's right. Oh, you got to go into the service center. You can't even, I guess you can call them up and say, I need that adapter. What's up, Lee? Happy Sunday. And I don't think you're in a place where they play with the clock, but if they do, happy extra hour of sleep day, I guess. I got to see 2 o'clock twice. I guess 3 times, really. No, 2 times. Um, Contact a local service center, which means call and hope that one of their overworked employees picks up the phone and knows what you're talking about. Oh, as if telephone is still a thing. I mean, I don't mind having telephone as an option when you look at like you need a quick one hit or something that's not in the menu from Tesla. But they did finally open up chat. I do like the way the chat is handled. But sometimes it's more like email than chat. Let's say that. Once your car is in service, it's more like chat. But once like if you make an appointment and it's like 3 months out or a month and a half or however long it's gonna take, they don't always get in on it. It's awesome. The mail from Polestar. I'm guessing it's gonna be that like 200 and change that we saw from the other vendors. And let's move on. And I wish I was more emotive, but I am falling asleep on you right here. Check my sugar. So this is not tired that I'm feeling. No, it is not. I am having a sugar crash. That's why I feel like this. Let's see. Yeah, I went to Bucky's yesterday. There we go. Let's see. I guess I'll go with Reese's cups. Maybe Kit Kats. Reese's cups will last longer because they got the peanut butter and extra protein. Not that it's like it's candy. I know it's not like gonna have extra, but it's true. Peanut butter versus cookie. Sorry. It's also a good chance to check out the battery pack for the house. It was kind of sunny for a minute. Oh yeah, we're 90.6%. Switch on our battery. Why are you clicking on me? I'm not clicking on you. All right, so now we're going to do routines. There it goes. Beep, beep, beep. Wonder what I've selected there on top of the chat there. And I'll probably scrap that other cup in just a moment, just to make sure that it goes the right direction. There we go. Yes, that's better. Yeah, so I think this is really cool that more and more of these non-Teslas are being allowed onto the supercharger network. That's going to be clutch. And as we've said in the past, some of the smarter manufacturers that are already putting out their own networks are now able to refocus some of that money on places that they know Tesla's not going to hit. So Rivian can let Tesla hit the on-road, and they can get the trailhead, which is pretty smart. I like it. Let's go over to the next one. Let's go to Tesla Energy, and we make sure not to play the video, or not. Oh, nothing wrong with the video. Not to play the sound for the video. It has to end up on the wrong screen because I don't know why. It just did. There we go. So here we can see Tesla Powerwall 3 expansion units are now available. So this was something that was easily available on the original Powerwall because they were all DC and DC coupled. You get however many you want, and they stacked up on DC, and then they had a separate inverter and everything to that one didn't actually get very many deliveries. Powerwall 2 was mostly an AC connected deal. They had a couple of DC Powerwall 2s, but not many. And Powerwall 3 brings back, not that Powerwall 2 couldn't stack and add, but you were adding in whole units with all the inverter and everything. But this one, you should be able to save at least $1,000, or Tesla should save at least $1,000 in parts because this thing doesn't have an inverter in it. It's just an extra battery. But because the Powerwall 3 inverter is so strong, that might be all you need. The one can start your air conditioner, can do whatever you're doing, and you just need a little more runtime. So you can save $1,000, and as they're demonstrating here, a little more time as well on your install by letting them stack them together on the ground. Versus the old style 45 minutes, we had to do one and one and one. With Powerwall 3, you could have 4 main units, and each main unit can have 4 expansions. Or I guess you can have 4 total, so I think it's 4 total. Times 4. So you get 16, 13.5 kilowatt hour batteries. You're looking at 216 kilowatt hours. So if you max it out, you'll have um, 200 packs and then some. Not bad. Or you could get power share on a Cybertruck, and then you just get 1 or 2 of those. I don't know. It's up to you. That was coming from Tesla Energy. Then I like this one. Replace them fossil fuels with a solar. The Powerwall 2 and 3 play well together. Not yet. Not yet at all. I'm sure they've got some firmware coming out for that, though. Currently, it's not supposed. I guess he meant supported, not supported. But it's coming with a future software update. There we go. They will in 2025. That was not wrong, but it's not. It's not accurate. I mean, it is technically correct, the best kind of correct, but the others were more useful answers. Oh boy, what am I doing here? Eat that other peanut butter cup in a minute. Let's see. So that was the Powerwall 3 expansions. I think Darren, one of the crew, got into it a while ago, though. All stuff. So I know I should wait longer than this, but I get it anyway. See what enough I can absorb it. Okay. Let's read the scarf the next page load. Powerwall 3 expansion units in the US. They officially launched in early 2024. Brought a major power capacity upgrade. Yes, it did, because you could get the same 13.5 kilowatt hours, but what was new was 11.5 kilowatts per unit with a peak of 30 kilowatts. So when you look at the fastest that the new Teslas can charge is 10.5 kilowatts on home chargers. So one of these could keep up with charging your Tesla. Not mine, because mine's like 17 kilowatts, and not the one that we were going to do to our S, because that was like 19 kilowatts, 18 and change. Anyway, peaks at 30, representing 130% increase in on-grid power capacity compared to the previous generation Powerwall 2. The With the Powerwall 3 expansion unit, Tesla has taken this a step further. Customers can now add 13.5 kilowatt hours to their existing setup, where they can stack multiple units into one. And the key difference here between the expansion unit and the Powerwall 3 is the expansion unit does not include inverter. Just said that. So yeah, so it's 4 stacks. So 16 batteries. So you can stack them one in front of the other like this, or you can put them side by side like they showed in the video, which still saves you some time over fresh units with home runs. Let's see. Uh, One of the most significant benefits of these expansion units is the reduced installation time. We saw the video on that, 45 versus, what did they say, 22 minutes? Yep, 22. On the Tesla did not reveal any information on pricing. However, during a presentation earlier this year, the company announced that, or said that the expansion units would be about $1,000 cheaper than a Powerwall 3 currently. It's kind of cool. Powerwall 3 is listed on Tesla's website for a price of around $17,000 before incentives. I'm assuming that's Canadian, because this is Drive Tesla Canada, and they didn't say US. Currently, the Powerwall 3 is available in markets outside the US, including Canada, Germany, and UK. There you go. All right, while I wait for this to load, let's get this other. This one's just some sales milestones for EVs. And as Alex points out, Tesla was out there crushing it. So the top 15 EVs and POs. Tesla Model Y and Model 3, right there, number 1 and 2. Look at the gulf between Model Y and Model 3. These numbers are exactly why the legacy autos canceled their sedans. Most of them. SUVs and crossovers are already more profitable. And look at how much more people were buying them than the exact same car as a car. The Ioniq 5, just kind of crossover in and of itself. The Mach E definitely is a crossover. It's like a small crossover. Sorry, I'm laying back. Ooh, that one's hidden. Um, the RAV4 plug-in hybrid. Uh-oh, they got one in there. Look how much higher the RAV4 plug-in hybrid did than the BZ4X. I have a feeling that's going to be on their sales team because when we last looked at it, the BZ4X wasn't that high of a price. It's not that good of a deal at the sticker price, but not that high compared to, like, it's in line. It, if you feel you're getting a value, then it's there. So then we skip down a little bit. We got the Hyundai Ioniq 5, the RAV4 plug-in hybrid, and let's get back to electric. So then we got the Tesla Model X, 7312. But I forgot to even mention the number. The Model Y, over 100,000 at 105,693. And this is the best selling in September through, I don't know, US? Probably not the US. These numbers are way too low to be the US. Uh, California registration. There we go. That makes more sense. So you've got, after the Model X, you throw a little BMW in there. BMW i4, 6670s, 6667. And then this newcomer is on the stage here. What is it? Cybertruck at 6349. A vehicle that until just a couple days ago was over 100 grand, starting at 109, all the way up to like 130. I know it was like 100 and 120 to get all the different E's. Yes. Then it's followed up by the Rivian R1S, which has been on sale for a little bit, but it just got refreshed. I noticed the S is on there, but not the T. Again, SUVs are more popular. The Jeep Wrangler plug-in hybrid, the Volkswagen ID4, BMW iX, and the Ford Series Lightning. And we already talked about how the BZ got stomped by the RAV4. Offer the Model S with by-wire steering, 180 degrees lock to lock, and vehicle to home and vehicle to vehicle to vehicle and vehicle to home charging with 120 and 240 volts outlets, and watch it leap back into the top 10 again. I think so, yeah. Because if the Model S was a certain level of more compelling than the Model 3, I mean, it's nicer, it feels better, and if you like the air ride, which I didn't know I liked as much as I do, that sort of thing, um, it's got all that. But for the car people, there's like almost no reason to get the S. And that is consistent with Elon's statements, but it's not what you want to hear as an enthusiast or stockholder or somebody who wants to get a new one, the same one, before they cancel it, that sort of thing. Now, two Model 3 and a Cybertruck in California. I am shocked that they don't sell more Model S's. I mean, it's looked the same for the last 12 years. Although, the Plaid looks a lot like my vehicle, and it shares a lot of parts because the Fabergé egg situation. It is not the same car. They are completely different animals. Completely. So I guess that would be like you guys looking on a Highland if you're in a Model 3, or if you are looking when the Juniper comes out, if you're in a Model Y, it'd be feeling like that. Excuse me. We've got a little update on that, and let's see. What's next? Scroll with me. Scroll. Scroll. All right, let's hear from the head of Cybertruck Engineering, Wes Morrill. So this is something that we did discuss previously, and it was a whole lot of stuff going on about it. But did I not click the link? So I had concluded that it was based on how it was phrased. It was just like the one in my Model X, where they don't Leverage is the thing. And so Wes points out here, wanted to answer a tow hitch accessory questions with a few examples. There are many different accessories, but the relationship is clear. To simplify it, when you increase the distance away from the hitch, the load capacity go down. Or yeah, it goes down. He said it in proper English. Uh, Not meme speak. The 11,000 pound tow rating is not absolute. It's up to 11,000 pounds. Um, you can think of it as holding a heavy weight against your chest. It's much harder to hold that same weight out with your arms outstretched. Sometimes arms open. The wall fell. We've got these charts these charts are now in the owner's manual. It's been updated since we last looked at the owner's manual. Remember we compared the S and the X and the Cybertruck side by side. Let's click in them and see here. Examples of carrier and the distance from the hitch bit. So like one is a trailer. It's the heaviest. It's like right there. It's like the inches of lift, and you got to pull it rather than have it do too much of the bounce and stuff. Then you got number two is a motorbike carrier, which is the lightest one they found. It's kind of over there, and it limits how many motorbikes you can carry at once. Probably just one, and then the dimensions of it, the size, the weight, the mass. The third one is the lightest 4 bike carrier. They've been selling this 4 bike carrier for a while, and when it first came out, I was like, "Oh, this is cool." And then they immediately walked back and said, "Just 2 adult bikes or 4 small kid bikes." Because leverage is a thing, and that's probably what we saw on the ones that didn't get dropped off of a drop onto their trailer hitch. This is now updated the owner's manual. Uh, oh, and a nice chart carrying the accessories. The load that the hitch receiver can support varies based on the configuration of the accessory carrier. The maximum tongue weight, which is the downward force on the trailer hitch of Cybertruck, is 1,100 pounds or 500 kilograms. The maximum weight decreases with the center of gravity when the center of gravity is moving. The effective center of the point of load to the accessory carrier is farther from the hitch. So the more you push your weight back, the less you can carry. Refer to the table below for other common examples. So a 4 bike carrier, same one that we just saw in the picture. The center of mass from the hitch pin horizontally is 32.2 inches or 817 millimeters, while the vertical distance, so rise over run, guys, that's why they do triangles, uh, is 29.9 inches or 760 millimeters, and the maximum load is 220 pounds or 100 kilograms. While the motorcycle carrier, as they showed us in the graph, is smaller and closer, but it weighs 375 pounds or 170 kilograms. And a regular trailer ball, you can get the full towing out of it at 1,000 pounds of load and 11,000 pounds of pull. Except for the Cyber Beast, because it's got heavier guts. It's not much, but it's there. I said, so my hypothesis that the Model X bike rack warning, like the Model X bike rack warning, and the very similar warning in Cybertruck's manual, it was all about leverage, in which which is applied differently with a bike rack or a rascal scooter mount than it is with an 11,000 pound, 1.1 thousand pound trailer tongue load. Yes, asking for a friend. What is it for an F-150? Wes knows. Oh, should make sense because uh, it's your cross shop, right? Depends on which towing package you choose, but they did make this one very handy chart for trailer tongue weights. So the rear step bumper is 5,000 pounds with 500 pounds of tongue load. Wow, that whole pickup truck can tow my little crossover can. Ouch. Then they got the hitch receivers, make it go up. No, they don't. Not on the Lightning. But they do let you use weight distributing hitch, which they do not let you do on Model X at all. So with that case, the maximum tongue load goes up to 1,400 pounds and 14,000 pounds of towing. Not bad for the Ford Lightning. That's all we're looking at right here. We don't care about that gas stuff. Although it is interesting though that the Raptor R is still a Ford F-150 pickup truck, ostensibly. It tows less than the electric one. And the electric isn't normally some weakling, it's just that it is here. And not by much. Like he's only left out by the theoretical 14,000 pound maximum of the fleet. He's gotta find the right one to do all that. While I bet you can find a lot more of the right ones of Lightnings that could hit their full 10,000 pounds. Let's see. If someone successfully made a gooseneck fifth wheel for Cybertruck, do you think you have an idea how much the towing capacity would be in that case? I'd like to see somebody mount something like that and just have it raise up enough to not interfere with the sails, or have it back far enough that it's not really a concern. But you don't want it back too far. That's the whole point of the fifth wheel and the gooseneck is to put the weight on the axle so that you can hold more. That's part of why the tractor trailers can do 80,000 pounds gross with the same 300 and 400 horsepower you have in your car. I say that like it's like super common. It is if you have electric, but if you don't, it's up to 300 horsepower for most people. Let's see. Let's close this down. Out of curiosity, if someone made any of that, we just looked at that one. Someone trying to turn this into a hitch gate. Oh, that's interesting. Or do we have a bunch of first time truck buyers who don't understand the physics of a hitch? Probably a little bit of all that. The owner's manual for towing said 11,000 pounds with 10% tongue weight. Heavier on the accessory page. However, on the accessory page, it was only showing the weight for a 2-bike carrier, which was simply an error. Some folks got unnecessarily concerned. Yeah, they were twisted in a bunch over this. Which is simply an error. Some folks got unnecessarily concerned that the error, despite the obvious conflict with the towing section, so we fixed the owner's manual to clarify. And that's one cool thing about their owner's manual being in the screen is at your next software update, it also comes with a new manual. Just right there. I presume 4 bikes on the Model Y hitch is okay too. No, not at all. Not adult bikes. Look at your manual and get the scale out. You don't want to damage your vehicle or risk injuring others on the road. The owner's manual recommendations are conservative. Okay. But if you want to stay by the book, the answer is still no. So this cut bike with specialized cross trails should be good. Cybertruck, probably. I think he's just showing off his bike in his truck at that point because nobody's responded but me. Or is it new? It's pretty new. Continuing on, let's close the extra window. I think I can make all the stories before I just go crash on you guys. Alright, so this one's from Drive Test Canada about plugs, of all things. It's similar to the Max. Then we've got to look at some concept drawings. And we'll look at crashes. More crashes. Right, so we close that one. So Drive Test Canada is pointing out that Tesla has introduced a low voltage standard connector. low voltage connector standard to streamline the auto industry. So this is going to be like your 48 volts. That's what Tesla's going for, but doesn't stop you from using other stuff on it. All these little connections in between different modules and different parts of the car, um, rather than make your own custom set of connectors and all the tools that need to go with that. We could all, rise inside lift all boats if we all had some nice easy parts to make our stuff with. Repairs would be cheaper and easier, insurance would be down, and hopefully so would the cost of a new car. Or if you buy used, so hopefully the cost of your repairs will be cheaper. Okay, and so they point out the parallels to NACS. 48 volts. That's kind of where it's aimed at. There you go. I think it's pretty cool. Uh, Not as flashy as the stuff that we can get our hands on, but still pretty cool. They, as I said, I think Hyundai is doing hydrogen right. They're putting a minimal effort into it and taking all the government subsidies out of it. So Hyundai and Kia together. The Hyundai Intanium hydrogen concept shows where design is headed yet. And the cool thing about a concept for a hydrogen car is it's an electric car, so you can take what works and make an electric car out of it if you do it right. This will provide 404 miles and recharge in like 8 minutes to 10 minutes if you get to the station that's not full, it's operational, it's got the pressure for your car. Just talk to some of the Mirai folks before you jump in on some hydrogen if this thing comes out as hydrogen. But that's it. Just want to look at some pictures real quick, and let's look at what's next here. Tesla exec shares company practice to encourage development of safe vehicles. So we saw a couple months ago the one where they retested and reprogrammed all the fleet from they had like a Silverado crashing into I don't remember if it was a 3 or Y, but let's say it was a Y, and they upgraded the programming on all the airbags in the fleet. That was pretty sharp. Safety is a reason that people buy these things. Not the only reason, but it's up there. Let's see. Comments were shared by Lars in a post on X. Lars said that we were initially response to the post from industry watcher Tesla Chan, who noted that Model Y seems to be on track to be the world's best-selling car again this year. Is also the safest vehicle on the road, echoing Elon's statements. So let's see here. This is the rollover of looks like Model Y based on the pistons and the lower amount of sand there. So Lars said safety is and always will be our top priority. First comes our autopilot safety features that are always active in every Tesla, whether you are in FSD or not. And the goal is to prevent crashes, but if the worst occurs, you'll be protected by the best passive safety cars on the planet. It's good to hear. Ooh. So glad everyone's safe. My buddy and his teenager were hit by a drunk driver head on. Excuse me. And they both walked away completely unharmed. Thank you, Lars. They have already ordered their next Tesla. Model 3 gave his life for them, which is what you want to do. And one thing to consider with the Teslas is, and anyone with a decent sized front, because you've got now a longer crumple zone. Like there's more space to dissipate the crash energy. Let's see what we've got next after crashes. A little bit. All right, so we had a post from Tesla AI Let's take a look on how they were looking at approaching the end of October. Wherever this thing opens up. Open up! There we go. And Tesserati points out that Ford is now shipping a new adapter to EV owners, not just the one we saw that was built by Giga Buffalo, little small one. And let's see what Ford has to say to the customers. Ford started shipping a new adapter that will enable access to 17,800 superchargers, and the new adapter is an effort by Ford to get adapters to customers in a more timely fashion. I wonder if the holdup was they were putting them in magic docks on V3 and V3 Plus, the V4 dispensers. They're not the same, but they share a lot of commonality. The new adapter is an effort by Ford to get them in a timely fashion, and Ford owners who are still waiting to receive a complimentary adapter can receive either this Ford branded fast charging adapter or the existing approved adapter, which shipped earlier this year when the company's EVs started to gain access to the supercharger network. Ford confirmed that is not a replacement adapter for this. This is not a replacement adapter for the issue the company identified earlier this month. So this is not a recall like the other one might be. With another model which had a potential issue that could cause reduced charge speeds over time and even damage the port itself. It's not bad. Good. It still looks kind of chunky in the picture, but it's not as bad as it looked in that first picture. Yeah, we'll give him a little updo there. I just cannot with the comments today. I'm not sure if they're good or bad. It's just you guys, yes, but not all the snark over there. ChargePoint just made EV charging more affordable for small businesses, and part of the way they're doing that is they're instead of taking a monthly fee or a yearly fee for maintenance, they're just going to take it out of your earnings as your customers do paid charging, which I think will help make the experience come closer to that of the Tesla network, because people always there paying attention to it and doing the maintenance, and they'll be incentivized to do the maintenance because there's still money coming in. And if somebody wants out, they'll be out completely because they'll want to rip the thing from the ground this time. Tesla Live One has announced new subscription pricing for their deal. We mentioned earlier that the Live One free streaming is mostly going away, and they had some details on it here. Confusing owners who have paid for internet connectivity, music streaming was a huge part of the deal, and without the ease of music, might as well use Bluetooth. You get a little more than just music and movies with your connectivity plan. And I didn't put it in there. In addition to that, the Spotify free is now working in the car the same way that the streaming app became Live One, Live by Live. If you have a free Spotify account, you can log in and use it. You don't have to have premium after this. So that's a smart move by Spotify to try and snag up some customers. Spotify AG. So let's see what they've added. Effective October 1st, Tesla replaces the streaming button with Live One's into perpetuity. 2. Live One 2.0 launches, providing customers with access to music on all their devices. Step 3. 1.9 million subscribers can convert to premium or plus services from what's already in the car. And potential 3x increase in average revenue per user. That's it's the deal. That's the deal that the Tesla and Live One. I was about to say, why would you advertise that to a customer? If your customer is bringing the users, then yeah, you would advertise it. Um, as of December 1st, 2024, Tesla will no longer subsidize the Live One products to some of its customers. So most of you who have the streaming app of the Live by One, or in Europe the free Spotify that came with your Tesla, although you might still also qualify for the new free Spotify. But either way, both of those agreements have been ended, and new ones have been put in place. And so Tesla will no longer subsidize the cost of the Live One products to some of its customers, like fully. However, Live One will offer all Tesla customers a discounted Live One package. So you get your car, the trial runs out, push the button, and you'll have a different rate that's only available to Tesla customers. And we're assuming that means only when you start it from the car, because there's that. But they also have a Tesla API and OAuth, so you can authenticate that yes, I still have a Tesla, and then get your discount without doing it from inside the car on the screen. Tesla will continue to pay the Live One monthly fee for grandfathered users into perpetuity. Like my good old legacy. Keep on getting some Live by Live. So that Mark can't hear his song by Queen that he asked it for. He'll hear everyone but, and when he's ready to finish his trip or turn off the radio, then he gets his Queen song. uh, So now the deal has taken place, Live One has announced the pricing for the various subscriptions, and that will come with tiers of Live One Plus and Live One Plus Premium. Not a Tesla app first noticed the pricing details. The first two tiers are actually virtually identical. The only difference is with the premium tier, you'll be able to listen to music on demand and watch on demand and offline. So like the download to your phone before you don't have signal or whatever, without an internet connection. That's kind of important because some places do let you do downloads and then they still make you hook up to the internet to do the DRM. So it's lighter on your connection, but it's not offline. Live One Plus, take your Tesla music history and rating anywhere you go with the Live One app. So this will be a lot easier than what I had to do with the asking pretty please for the credentials, or well, actually it was both asking pretty please for the credentials and then using the third-party app to extract my likes and play data. Ad-free music, yeah, because the ads are coming now. Unlimited song skips. Yeah, that's important for me. I call myself skip-tastic when I'm listening to music, especially by myself. Yeah, I like that part of that song. Okay, next, next. Uh, Hundreds of expertly crafted music stations. They're all right. Podcasts, audiobooks, and videos. I didn't notice they had those other things. And he said the difference was offline. Yep, offline on these first two. Now the pricing. The Level One Plus is $3.99 a month or $34.99 a year. That's Tesla exclusive pricing, and yeah, that's what it used to cost, and that's still what it costs with Tesla. That's okay, deal. The Live One Plus Premium, still a decent deal. At $9.99 a month, like for exclusive Tesla pricing, or $100 a year for Tesla exclusive pricing. And if you have unlimited connectivity on the older Model 3s or on the legacy cars, then that's all you have to worry about. But if you're on a newer car, it'll be an additional $100 to your $100 of internet for the car. Excuse me. If you even choose to do it, because you can use Wi-Fi, you can use hotspot, you can just do Bluetooth. All depends on what you need and what you want from that car connection. No. Question is how? How do we start our subscriptions with these plans with existing Tesla profiles? That's what I was talking about with the API, or you'll have to sit in the car and do it. Live One says go to the account tab in Tesla and scan the QR code. There you go. Informative. I don't even know what Live One is. It sounds like Xbox. Something from Microsoft. It is not Microsoft. Oh, this one was serious. They went and did the research. It sounds like it is online radio yet. I think Tesla will be paying for this in my 2013. Or I hate to think Tesla will be paying for this in my 2013. I turned it on maybe twice a year, and it's scarcely worth it when it's free. It wasn't terrible when I got on the premium plan, but I canceled mine. I switched as soon as they switched to Spotify and YouTube Music. It is what it is. All right, so then we've got this one, and I'm gonna go take a nap. I say a nap, probably sleep the night away. This last one's from Rochester, Canada, and Electrify America has announced what's coming in 2025. Tesla has started doing this articles on X, so don't have to switch over to their site. Planning larger charge stations with charging stations with more chargers, and I assume handles as well. Expansion of the current stations where able. So some of the stations are a place where they have a good relationship and there's space and power, and they can put more chargers in the existing spots, or they have to put in new sites. Next generation charger upgrades. That's about time. And continuing to open new stations across North America. Congrats to them. Congrats to them. Does this include them offering the NAX connector? Yes. Does it mean that these they just talked about? Who knows? Probably. Tools of NAX. No reliability improvement. That's where the new hardware comes in. Starlink in the window. Starlink Mini at that. When the Wi-Fi on the airplane sucks. Sarcasm. See how it's still wrapped up with the zip tie or the Velcro. They wanted you to know it was a joke, because some people will take that way out of hand. Only one vehicle on the list with a good rating in all categories for both driver and passenger. I said the end, but here's the last one. How a guy react with Cybertrucks. Think we react. Maybe. Skip 12-hour road trip in the Tesla Cybertruck. FSD makes driving way too easy. Yes, it does. It's super nice. All right, let's get back to. So Wes was talking about Tesla Model 3, 56 kilometers an hour, 30% overlapping drilling truck crash test results. Drilling truck, interesting. I guess a G rating. After this, we'll do it. So that one is probably Model 3 or Y. How would make it bigger? Oh, I see why. Because it's translation, so it's like I don't know who it is. All right. Let's open this in a new tab, I guess. Open image in a new tab. Let's just make it too big. Unless it's a phone screenshot. It could be, because it's like a camera translate. Oh, there we go. It's not bad. 30% overlap. Car, model, hips, chest, calf. Okay, passenger, adult male is on the right. Front seat, adult male is on the left. Mid-range and large SUV. Mercedes-Benz G-Class. Did alright-ish. Hyundai Elantra. Okay. What's this red thing? Head and neck is the red thing. All right, so I'm looking for the one that he helped build, because why else would he call it that way, right? That's the Model 3. And he's right. Green across the board right there. I was looking at the top. Green across the board. That's a model for me. And that's what they keep saying. They're all about safety. And they prove it. Okay, let's close these. And maybe we'll watch a crash test video today as well. Maybe. Oh, yes, we will. Okay, we'll mute it. And this is nothing like the platform that I share videos with you guys for the Tesla Life show. It doesn't get bigger like that. I want to figure like this. How does it look? It does this cropping thing. All right, we'll watch it in the video. Weibo, come down. There we go. The keyboard was, or the keyboard, the mouse was lost, so we had to use the keyboard to get out. So let's play this. No. All right, let's go to Tesla Chan. Oh, I see what's happening. Apple's helping me out with my mouse, I think. Should have bought a magic mouse. I wasn't feeling the lack of ergonomics, so I didn't. And the upside down charger thing. Is my mouse back yet? Nope. So the right click is back. Is the left click back? Yes. So here we go. This is the crash. Oof. Ooh, that's under the truck. So I guess their bars are not that effective. No, it's split in half. That's a bad crash. That was a Model 3 performance too. I like the safety cells structure. Yep, definitely a performance. That's just like a graze under the truck. I'm sure if they hit the thing head on, it would have been better, but oof. I think they're called Mansford bars, but I just cannot recall. Let's see here. All right, so that was that. I want to thank all of you guys for sticking around, coming out to see me on this late start. Putting up a video while I uh, did one of these, the cell phones with the DNS, but it's working better than ever now. So that part's nice. And I'll catch you guys on the Tesla Life Express tomorrow. And well, I say that I won't be there live on the chat, but I'll take a look at the comments later, and then we will catch you live on the Tesla Life show on Wednesday. And then, of course, next week, again, hopefully closer on time, we will be chatting with Kacey and friends. We'll catch you on the flip side. Thank you very much.